Hi, welcome to video 3 on the Step Up Your Practice series, which is on tuning. Of course, we addressed the metronome first. Now, tuning is the next most important thing that we should talk about. In Studio One, there's a built-in tuner that I use every time I practice. Let me show you where this is. Under Effects, under Analysis, there are different tuners. Now there's different tunings here, so we want to stay with the 440 Hertz tuner. So I'm going to just drag this on the file, let go, and there's my tuner. Now because the mic's on, anything I play, the tuner will read for me. Notice it just right there, and it's nice and big so we can see it. You can also put it in strobe mode, and if you use the old Peterson strobe tuners, this will be more familiar to you as well. So you have two options there. Now, the cool thing is the tuner will also tune as you play back. So one of the most important things that any wind musician can do is long tones. And every musician should be playing these. As we do these every day, it's good to record them and look it back and see how steady your pitch was. So of course, I never do anything without my metronome, and I've already pulled in the clap beat because it's always more fun to play with a beat than it is just a boring click. So let me lay down some long tones and show you how the tuner works. I'm not muting or soloing this channel, so my beat will play along while I'm recording track 1, starting from the beginning. I'm going to give myself a 4-count pre-count, and here we go. And so on. Now, when I play back just my track, I can watch the tuner and see how steady I was. Now obviously it's a little sharp, but it was consistent. So that's what we look for. I always say keep it consistent. Now, since the horn's cold, I'll pull out a little bit. But you'll notice at the beginning it's sort of raised a little bit. So I would go back and work to fix that. So that's using the tuner. The other thing I like to do is use drones or steady pitches to practice tuning against something. So let me show you how to create one, and you can do this with or without your PreSonus PS49 keyboard, but I always like to do it with a keyboard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this clap beat real quick just to make some room, and I'm actually going to add an instrument. Let's go ahead and just add a trombone. All I do is select it in the instrument window, drag and let go, and it creates a trombone sound for me. Now I'm going to record a drone so I can play along with it. So we're going to record arm this track. We're not going to record on track 1. Actually, we can get rid of the long tones too. So I've got my pre-count, I'm recording, and here we go. And essentially, I'm just going to hold that down, so I'll have a drone pitch that I can work with. I can quickly just duplicate this so it'll happen over and over again. So we'll have a steady drone to work with. Now, that was an E flat, so I can take any etude, any tuning exercise, any scale, and practice playing along with a steady pitch. And I'll show you what this looks like as well. So now I want to record on track 1, and I do not want to record over my drone. So I get that set up. I'm going to add the click in, and we're going to get going. And so on. Now we can listen to how we tune against the drone and talk about intonation when it comes to intervals. Let's listen back and let the tuner show where we were. Always in the mix window, I can adjust how much of the main I want to hear and how much of the drone I want to hear. So that's that, or I can play a simple etude along with the drone to work on tuning that way. cool. Again, I can go back, listen with the tuner, and analyze all this. Now, I'm going to show you another cool feature that Melodyne lets us do. Now, Studio One Artist and Producer come with a Melodyne trial version, so you can try this out. Studio One Professional will have integrated Melodyne, and you can always upgrade in Studio One Artist or Producer to get the full Melodyne as well. But there's some really cool things you can do if you have it. First of all, I'm going to take away our drone track, and I'm going to add Melodyne to this file. Notice it renders out all of my notes. I can click on any pitch, and it'll actually tell me where that pitch was tuning-wise right up here. Very, very valuable. So, a couple different things I can do with this. First of all, I can pitch correct by selecting all of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and correct the pitch and the drift. The drift affects if your pitch was a little wavy on a single note, it'll flatten that out. So we want to correct both of those for this exercise. Now, this is pitch corrected. I can actually play along with an in-tune version of myself and practice tuning to an in-tune version and have the same tone quality. Very, very useful here. So all I have to do is add a new track. I'm going to go ahead and record. Now notice both of these are recording the left input, which is where the M7 is plugged in. So all I'm going to do is tell track 1 to not record and record on track 2. Now I can play along with myself and practice tuning to an in-tune version of myself. Pretty cool stuff. So you have the built-in tuner, you have the ability to create drones in Studio One where any pitch, or you can create play-alongs by playing along your etude, so you'll have something to tune to. And if you have Melodyne, by upgrading to Studio One Professional or upgrading to Melodyne in your Studio One Artist or Producer, you can have all these other great pitch correction tools as well. So, see you in the next video.